What kind of shape is the Gaetz thing in, and what to do about it, if anything?
Well, first of all, no matter who President Trump picks, the media are going to hammer him every day. You know, we've all been around pretty long, Larry. It doesn't make any difference. If you're a Republican, you got to fight your way through all this. If you remember Clarence Thomas and Brett Kavanaugh, we're going to look at facts, not rumors. There's more rumors up there going around about Matt Gaetz and Pete Hegseth, and even all of them will have some kind of rumor when it comes down to it. But we've got to look at facts. But we got to help President Trump. He's not going to pick somebody that's a criminal. He's not going to do that.
I think you reversed the sentence there. So far, he doesn't seem to be picking anyone who isn't at least allegedly a criminal at this point, or certainly has been accused of these things. And I love the fatalism there from Tommy Tuberville to be like, well, you know, anybody you pick is going to have rumors around him. Yeah, is that necessarily the case? I don't remember a lot of Biden's picks having rape allegations floating around. I feel like we're a big country, 300 million people. We contain multitudes. I think that includes some people who've never been credibly accused of sexual assault. Maybe I'm naive, but that's what I think. And specifically on Gaetz, there's not just rumors about Matt Gaetz, there's evidence, and more of it every day. We're gonna dive into some specific bits of evidence that are both, I think, potentially damning and also deeply, deeply icky in just a minute. And before we jump into that, I do want to just mention, when you're like, you know, they'll do this to anyone, even upstanding gentlemen like Clarence Thomas and Brett Kavanaugh, is that the group like that you think you should be comparing him to? One of the most corrupt judges in American history, and a guy who really, really did some questionable stuff when he was younger? I wouldn't be like, throw in Cosby while you're at it if you really want to defend him. But anyway, today we're here to talk about the apparently over $10,000 that Matt Gaetz paid to at least two of these witnesses in the House probe. So these are two of the women who have attested to the fact that they witnessed him having sex with an underage woman, a 17-year-old, at some sort of strange elite sex party that QAnon warned us about, but all of a sudden the QAnon people aren't remotely interested in. But anyway, the records are said to show payments between July 2017 and January 2019 totaling over $10,000. So they range from $100 to over $700, and they had labels. And I'm gonna read them to you because I had to read them, and so now you need them bouncing around the interior of your skull as well. Gift, car deductible. I don't want to know why he's paying the car deductible. I don't want to know what happened in the car that caused damage to it. I don't know. Refreshments, gross. Other notes show comments such as being awesome and extra for you. And if you're listening to the podcast, it's important to me that you know that extra for you is XTRA, for the number and you the letter. He was paying an incredibly young woman. At that point, they're 18 when they're receiving the payments. He's handing over cash and saying extra for you. He's a sitting congressman, okay? He has a reputation. He's from an incredibly wealthy family, part of a new dynasty in Florida politics, and he's saying extra for you. Here's a tip for being awesome as I pay you for sex. Maybe that's generous. I don't know, I'll give that to him, but everything else about it is absolutely gross. And you can see here some more of the labels. I don't know, everybody, you tell me what's the grossest. Cartridges? Did she get him N64 games? I don't even know. High. And honestly, even worse than extra for you, the $420 for joy. I don't like it. I don't like him paying her over $400 for joy with an exclamation mark. I don't like, just because, and there's some being my friend. Look, this is not specifically about the accusations of sexual assault. This is about, you know, paying for sex and trafficking and all that, which is also against the law. And I personally think you can believe that sex work should be fully legalized. I think that's the direction we should go in as a country. You can also believe that it wasn't when he did it as an elected official, and he now wants to be the top cop in America. So maybe he should be held to like at least a bare minimum standard of following the law. And then on top of it, just like in terms of who he is as a character, he's about as gross as they come. And that's bad in these particularly gross times, Sharon. What do you think?
It's sick, and I feel the need to put right front and center. Not convicted, but what you just read could be in a textbook to teach people how to avoid predators. That's what it reads like anyway. I don't know if he is one or not, but I know that there's talk about a 17-year-old and some witnesses and some damning things that are going to come out, okay? Even more, okay? So he's sick, and the fact that you're considering him, I agree with you. Cosby and Harvey Weinstein, is he still being retried? They're both perhaps even more qualified than him if this is the standard that we're going by.
Yeah. And look, I would love to say, I'm desperately trying to grow and evolve after this election. I would like point out like, hey, Republicans, you guys talked for literally years about protecting the kids and how there's elite people having sex with kids and being protected by other powerful people. And you described all of this exact stuff. Every bit of the thing we're talking about is what you demonized. And now you're doing the protecting of an elite that you said others do. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Again, pointing out hypocrisy, thinking that it will cause them to stop being a hypocrite is not going to happen. We're done with it. All we can do is do what we can do, which is to point out that they are protectors of groomers and protective of alleged pedophiles. And that's what they are. That's what their values are. And we run on it. We pack it into ads and all that. Because if there are some actual Republicans out there with principles in this area, they should know all of these Republicans are, not everyone, some of them hate Matt Gaetz and want it to come out, but Marjorie Greene and others are doing everything they can, including threats and ultimatums, to make sure that the alleged pedophile never sees the light of day or the truth about them. He'll be out. I mean, he's going to be in a position of power. Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.